Hey guys, welcome to my studio. Today we'll be painting this creepy Halloween painting. I did this on a 12 by 16 canvas, although you don't need to do it on that size. You can use whatever canvas you have. And here are all the supplies that you're gonna need. Well, you don't need any of these supplies. You can use whatever you have on hand, but I will put a link below to what I do have in the description box below. So here I have a flat 1-inch brush, a small detail brush, an angular brush, just like a scruffy brush. That's what it's called, but I don't really. And then I also have this round brush that it's pretty stiff and I don't really care about it, and I use it for just like being really rough on the canvas, and I know that you don't want to do that with your nice brushes, so I just use a crappy one. I don't care if it gets ruined. So, and here are the paints I used. I only used red, yellow, and blue primary color Liquid-X basic paints, acrylic paints, and black and white, and I did all the color mixing for these, which I don't really get into in this video, so you'll definitely want to check out the blog post that I'll also link down in the description below that goes along with this video, and it goes into color mixing and some other details I don't get into right here. Although you can use whatever colors you want, and you don't have to do color mixing if that is scary to you or you're intimidated by it. But I also do have a whole blog post on color mixing. If you're interested in that, I will also put it in the description box below. So this video is going to be sped up, but feel free to go into the settings bar and change the playback speed so it can be a little slower for you if that's what you need. Here I use a large flat brush to cover the canvas with a gray, while I blended straight white and black into the gray horizontally as I worked my way down. You will have to make sure you do this while the paint is still wet, and that's why I did it as I worked down. Now for the moon. I used a circle and traced it with a pencil. Then I started adding a deep purple aura to the outside of the circle I made. I used the crappy old brush so that I could do a dry brush technique that is harder on a brush. I stretched the purple out till it had a soft edge. Using an angular brush, I made the circle for the moon. I like to use an angular brush for this because it is good for leaving a nice crisp line. I covered the circle in a plain white. Once the circle was covered with white, I added patches of purple and yellow. You'll want to work quickly as you blend the patches to your desired likeness. Once I was happy with how the moon looked, I started adding clouds. I used a grayish purple to the bottom layer, and once it dried, I added a more purple color for shadows. Then I applied more gray for a final highlight layer. I also added wispy clouds in the original purple color. I put these all over the painting except for over the moon and the bottom fourth of the canvas. For the ground, I used the Scruffy Brush and a deep green color. I gradually blended the ground into a gray matching the sky to create a misty effect. For the tree, I used a brown color for the base color of the tree. I used several different brushes, including an angular brush, detail brush, and the Scruffy Brush for the harder blending. Once I had all the limbs and the tree trunk painted, I started adding shading using a brown, gray, and black. The bottom of the tree is the darkest, so it will be black. I used the detail brush to refine the limbs and add the final highlights to the trunk back in the original brown color we used to create the tree. For the tombstone, I went in a place that I felt something was missing. It was simple. Using a light gray with an angular brush, I made a round-topped tombstone shape. While it was still wet, I went back into that green-gray from the ground earlier and blended the bottom of the gray tombstone into the ground. I also used a detail brush to do a dark gray shadow on the right side of the tombstone to add some depth. Lastly, I added the RIP in the same dark gray color. The pumpkin, I made a dull orange color and created the pumpkin shape. I went over with the black lines for shadows, but blended them into the orange a bit. I also added black on the right side and the bottom. I used a tiny bright orange to add some highlights to the top of the pumpkin. Then I used the brown from the tree to add the stem. The owl in the tree was easy. I used black and added an owl shape, 2 ears on a semi-round body. Once it was dried, I went back and added the eyes, first with white, then yellow on top. The bats were fun. They were just a few little bird shapes in the sky. You did it! You're finished! Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed painting this creepy Halloween painting. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Hope to see you back soon.